Hello everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing October favorites. I can't believe that we're already in November of 2019. This year has flown by. It just feels like it was yesterday we were, I don't know, talking about January favorites or something. I don't know. It's just blows my mind. Anyways, yay, let's get started. You know, I have lots to share, lots to discuss about the month of October for me. First up, we're going to just dive right into books. I work probably about 3 blocks from one of my most favorite bookstores in the planet. And it sells tarot decks, secondhand and new. I've actually sold quite a few decks to that bookstore in the past. But I've been slowing down my purchases. And you may not can tell that because I'm going to be flooding the channel with unboxings. But these are unboxings. Just so you know, these are unboxings that I did way earlier in the year. I just now have gotten to a place where I'm just ready just to put up all the content that I've recorded. I actually have recorded quite a bit. I just have been so busy. It's hard to just put it out there. I don't know why that's a challenge for me. I'm thinking about training one of my children to be an assistant of mine to do such things. But I'm going to be doing soon an Abundant Life Tarot updates video on my plans for my business and my channel and whatnot. So, and it's good stuff. It's actually really good stuff. It's not like, oh, you're not going to hear from me anymore. Actually, you're going to start to hear more from me. Yay. So let me circle back to books. I walk to the bookstore and I treat myself to books from time to time. And I did that in the month of October. And I bought myself the first book I got. I actually bought a few, but these two from the bookstore are the ones that I have rose to the top of being my favorites. The first one being the Tarot Court Cards, Archetypal Patterns and Relationship in the Minor Arcana by Warwick-Smith. And this is a great guide to the minors. And it's just, she actually consults different cards. She includes the Mother Peace Tarot, which I've been leaning towards getting. And she's got the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith over here, the Thoth over here, that she draws from, that she's educating us on. I'll just kind of read I like to read the chapters so I can discuss with you what I was reading here. She has the Royal Family. Royalty, our connection to divinity. Family, our link to community. Royal family members as archetypes. And from divinity to divination. She goes over 200 years of court card interpretation, which is interesting. A Kabbalistic equation. The Wand Court in the Kingdom of Spirit. The Cup Court in the Kingdom of Love. The Sword Court in the Kingdom of Knowledge. Nice. And the Pentacle Court in the Kingdom of Power. In divination with court cards, she has some spreads. Court cards cast a shadow. Looking at the shadow side of the court cards. She even has a shadow spread, which is exciting. I'm all for that. Meditation in the court cards. Four kingdoms, one road, a path working. That's exciting. So I really enjoyed this book. I'm still working with it, and I'll probably continue to work with it. This one, and then also I started reading it in October, and I'm going to continue to work with it, is The Mystery of the Tarot. Discover the Tarot and find out what your cards really mean, by Liz Dean. I own about 3 other books by Liz. And I just find her approach to tarot really straightforward and easy to understand. And these 2 books are going to be consulted. I have many other books in my library for tarot now that I'm going to consult as I start to create courses for my website. I'm super excited about that. And the Liz Dean was one that I will definitely be getting some inspiration and citing from. If I need to cite, sometimes I just get the inspiration and take it and make it, you know what I mean? Like if I'm going to reference a book that I consult on, don't plagiarize. But she's just, let me read some of the chapters here and you'll see what I mean. She also similarly talk about tarot traditions, the court and clergy, Europe's first tarot as a trade, knights and gypsies, the origin of the minor arcana, the occult revival in Egyptomania, and then tarot symbolism, using astrology with the tarot and the Kabbalah, the tarot menagerie, the tarot rainbow. She has a whole section on spreads. That's her thing. She really comes up with great spreads. I know because I own a few of her books and I enjoy some of her spreads. Then interpreting the card, she has a section for the major and the minor, tarot resources, etc. And so I'm excited. I was reading this book. I haven't had a lot of time to read like fiction, and I'm hoping that changes at some point in the future. I don't know if it will, but because I have a tarot business, because I'm either educating myself or others about tarot, a lot of the books that I'm going to be discussing is tarot related. It's just the way it is in my world. Speaking of, the other two books that I wanted to discuss that were also going to be included in my favorites is, let's see, the Muse Tarot that goes with my Muse Tarot by Chris and Donnelly. And it is gorgeousness. The tarot deck is gorgeousness. I'm so impressed with the book. I was kind of sort of going on the website. Not really, because, you know, if you know tarot, you don't necessarily need to have the guidebook by you. But I went ahead and bought the book, the guidebook, to go with the Muse on Blurb. And I'm so happy I did. I really am. I feel like there's some decks that need to have its whole little ensemble. And the Muse Tarot was one of them. So look at that. Yeah, check out, if you want to know more about the Muse Tarot, you can check out the unboxing that I did for it. And yeah. So I bought that on Blurb, and I was reading with it, consulting with it. Chris-Anne is a genius when it comes to her her artistry, and then in terms of her writing craft. She's the real deal. I'm impressed by her work. And then we have Karen Mahoney's The Bohemian Gothic Tarot. People who know me in the tarot world know that I adore the Bohemian Gothic, and it made sense for me to go ahead and get the guidebook that goes with it. I have the 3rd edition Bohemian Gothic, and I adore it. And this book made me adore it even more. I used the Bohemian quite a bit last month in October. So it was fun to kind of pull out this book. Like, for example, she shows what the inspiration was for the images. So here, it says inner yard of 13th, 15th century Zykov Castle in the Czech Republic. And you can see here in the 5 of Wands, and then you see the inspiration there. And the meanings, the keyword meanings and key phrases are the same ones found in the little white book in the deck. Like the lighter or more conventional meanings, the darker shadow or more hidden meanings. But then she goes into more in-depth meaning, and then also just a little background into why they chose what they chose for the cards. It's an interesting guidebook. I like it. I actually really like it. So I was glad I added this to my guidebook collection. I am thinking I am due for another like tarot library video. I'm due for a more updated one because I've added to it I've added to it since the last time I did that video that shows the guidebooks that I have in my collection. Not just guidebooks, but tarot references. And anyways, yeah. So that's that for the books. Let's talk about the random stuff that I've got that I want to discuss. So in October, I was supposed to do my vision board workshop, which I had to postpone. Like, the first time I had to postpone it was because I had to go visit a friend who had a stroke. I had to go visit her a little bit out of town. And so I did that. But then the following week that I had postponed it to, I ended up like pulling some kind of muscle in my neck. Or I thought I might have slept wrong, but it lingered and lingered, and it was just awful. And I was kind of like moving like a stilted person. Like, I couldn't turn. I would try to move. I had hardly any range of motion in my neck. And I do a lot of sitting and typing every day. And if I'm not sitting and typing during the day, I'm doing tarot readings at night in a chair. So I'm constantly sitting. My neck is bent. I'm always kind of torqued in a certain way that's probably not the best for my spine. I recognize that. I haven't been as gentle as I could be on my spine, I should say. So I was in a lot of pain to the point where I kind of went a little missing in action. I just needed to catch up on some rest and figure out how to get my neck to stop hurting. It just feels good now just to have range of motion. But what helped me, my random tool here, pull it up if I can. I'm going to show you what I got that helps me tremendously. This is my, get out of there. Okay. This is my trigger point stick. You know, it looks crazy. It looks so crazy. When I worked in the insurance industry, and I worked particularly in the claims department, you get really, things get a little tense. Plus, we sit and type a lot. So it's difficult to, I guess it could be a stressful situation. I don't have time to go and get massages like I would like and need. My husband gives really good massages, but sometimes I need something a little bit more, and that's this. It's a trigger point stick. And coupled with Tylenol, I can't take ibuprofen or things like that because I'm on blood thinners. And because I'm on blood thinners, I can't take something that also is inherently a blood thinner. So I have to take Tylenol. So Tylenol, rest, warmth, and then using my trigger point stick in the part of the base of my neck where it was really bothering me, in the shoulder. Really, it's the cervical thoracic region that always has bothered me because I sit at my desk. I don't really get low back pain. Sorry, I'm massaging myself and all you do is you take it and you pull. You just are pulling it. And it's a trigger point stick. It has different little nodules that you can put that, you can work with your lower back. It's amazing. I got it from Amazon. I saw one of my friends who worked for the insurance company I used to work for. She was in our special investigations unit, and she was even more stressed than I was. And she had one at her desk, and I was like, I have to have this, because she ended up working from home. So she took it with her, and I got my own. This is the miracle worker. This is what got me back on track. You're sore for a couple of days because I think chiropractors might use something similar. A trigger point stick is what it's called. But oh my gosh, once you get that relief, it's just nothing like it. And for those, I mention it also because if you're a tarot reader, or if you sit a lot, or you're hunched over a lot, over time, you're going to start to get muscle pains. And so this is nice to have. It's nice to recognize that as tarot readers, we have to take care of our physical bodies. We have to. I have a sedentary job. My full-time job is very sedentary, and it always has been. I've always did a lot of office work. So that plus tarot reading, I don't get a lot of motion. I have to make a conscious effort to exercise, to drink water, to eat good vegetables, to Yeah, I fall off and I indulge. I love sweets. I have a sweet tooth like no other, but I have to also take care of myself. I'm on blood thinners because I used to work 12-hour days and not hardly move. And then I end up getting a blood clot that went to my lung. So yes, we are gifts on this planet, right? We can read tarot. Maybe we don't use tarot cards. Maybe we use other divinatory tools, or maybe we don't use any tools at all. But oftentimes we're not really in motion. We are in a physical world with our physical bodies, and they need to be taken care of just as much as everything else. That's just my public service announcement, my PSA. All right, my next random thing that I won't go too long into. I went very long on that, but I had to tell you guys about it because I felt like I've been absent and missing for a bit in October, and that was mainly the reason, was that I was really trying to prioritize friends. My friend got really sick, and then prioritizing getting my neck back on track. And my magic dice made it back. Sometimes I didn't have time to just consult my cards like I want, so I would just toss out my dice. Yes, definitely, maybe, no, yes, not now, to be determined, yes, no, and days, months, weeks, a season. It's got numbers. Check out my video about my magic dice. I use these as divinatory tools, and they've been pretty freaking accurate. My daughter loves them so much. She's not really much of a fan of tarot cards, but she loves my magic dice. So check those out. That was something I consulted because sitting at a table, I conserved my energy this past month with my neck pain. It lasted like a good week. I ended up just focusing on readings for my paid clients. Everything else kind of had to take a back burner. So if I needed to do a reading for myself, that just wasn't going to happen. So I consulted my dice. All right, so that's enough with the randoms. We are now going to move to crystals. I skipped crystals, my bad. Crystals were supposed to be before the randoms, but it's a quick and honorable mention. It's my Ammonite. I love having this on my table. I really feel like it helps me go into those, like it reminds me, well, let me say this. Usually when tarot cards or oracle cards are depicting something about the arcana, they always end up showing this beautiful pattern. And I feel like this is perfect for path working, having on the table. For those who are into past life readings, I feel like this is the stone to have nearby. I also feel so safe as I'm going into these different realms. I'm spiraling going inside, and then I'm able to hold tight and hold on and unravel and take from within and bring it out, bring it into this realm. So just a quick shout out for my crystal that I've been constantly having on any reading table that I'm working with. And then we move to decks. All right, so let's talk about the oracle first. First up, we're going to talk about the Oracle of Nightmares. I use this deck all the time. All the time. I could probably easily put it in every single favorites video, but that would be obnoxious. But you should know that I love it that much. It would be in every one if I didn't want to just bore you all to death. So I edged it in black, but as you can see, it's worn off. I'm going to have to re-edge it at some point, but I use it for readings, primarily for readings for others, but from time to time readings for myself. And what I use this for is, this is the shadow. This is the deck that I use for getting that shadow information. It's kind of hard to see the images though. I have to bring it close and steady for you. It's great, obviously, to use during the Halloween season. It says Reckoning. But I use it all year long. Inertia. It's an independently produced deck by Ariana Siegel. She has an Etsy store called White Rabbit Oracle. That's the main decks that she's created, but that's also the name of her Etsy shop and her website, I believe. I love this card, Inertia. Dread. I'm pretty sure I have an unboxing of this deck. It's probably an older video. Overwhelm of mine. I love that one. Fear. Regret. Possibilities. I love that it's tarot size. I love oracles that are tarot size. It's a thing for me. Identity, which is why I gravitate towards more independent oracle decks, because they typically will be tarot size. Guilt. I love this card. So I'm not going to keep going with that for time's sake, but it's a favorite of mine and it's perfect for this season. All right, next up, that's also perfect for this season. Maybe you've all seen this on my weekly readings, or you see me around with it. I've had it a while. This is Stacey DeMarco's The Halloween Oracle. It says, lifting the veil between the worlds every night. And I know many people who use this oracle year-round, not just during the Halloween or Silent season, but I tend to use it more around Halloween, but I have been known to use it during non-Halloween, but more often than not, it comes out during this time of year. And here's the guide. This is Blue Angel. I think I have an unboxing. I'm not 100% sure anymore. There's Zombie. I think this is a fan favorite. Winter. This is a fan favorite. I'll mix this up. For the tarot and oracle reader community, I think. Trick or Treat. It's big. The only thing I'm not a fan of is that it's glossy, but the deck has held up, so I guess there's that. My daughter for Halloween was a werewolf. I wasn't a fan, but she looked good. She wanted to be a werewolf. I was the same way though. I liked zombies and being like monsters when I was her age, so I was kind of hoping she'd pick something like pretty, not like a werewolf. Okay. I won't keep showing them for time's sake, but here's the backs. And I'm not usually a huge fan of themed decks, but I'm not I don't hold it against a deck. This one obviously is themed, but it's themed tastefully. I'll say that. So that's that. I use this quite a bit. I'm probably still going to use it in November, maybe up until December, to be honest with you, because it just kind of lends the colors of it. And I think they even have like a card with holly in it. So I usually feel like I can use that deck all the way up until Christmas time. All right, next up for Oracle. Oh, let's see. Oracle of Oddities, first, second, and third editions. I started really using this deck after I bought the Antique Anatomy Tarot. And I used it from time to time, but I'll be perfectly honest, I wasn't really called to use it very often. And I felt bad because I was like, I really like everything about it. It's tarot size. The bags are okay. They're all right. But I just love the look of them. And I love that they're easy to handle and that you could combine the first, second edition together. So I was very, very much a fan. So now I use them quite a bit, even not necessarily with the Antique Anatomy either. It's something about bringing the tarot in, the sister tarot, if you will, made it where it just blossomed in my life here. It's such a good deck. I've seen people put it up for sale and I think, oh, it's such a shame, because at one point I thought I was going to sell it or moving along, but now, nope, I'm keeping it. That's why it's like, I want to do a depth year to see which decks I want to give a chance to really explore my decks and then see which ones really probably should leave my collection. But it's hard to do that when you're constantly in addition mode. So it's infected. So 2020 is going to be my depth year. It's going to be quite interesting. So I'm kind of like, okay, what other decks I need to get? Because this is it. And closing shop. And this, yeah, I need to get with it. So that's the Oracle of Oddities. I believe it's by Claire Goodchild. That's who did the Antique Anatomy Tarot, but I could be wrong. There's the name of the company, and I'm drawing a blank on it. I forgot. Anyways. All right. Let's see. We did that. Oracle of Oddities. And then we got 2 more oracles. 2 more. As a result of using that one, the Oracle of Oddities, I started back using the Earthbound Oracle again quite a bit. I will probably never get rid of this deck. I really enjoy it. I love the little small size. It's like poker size or whatever. That's my thing. I like the smaller, the better. I do larger spreads in my readings. And plus, I type a lot and my wrists are little and they don't like to be dealing with shuffling big cards. That's just that. It's not like I don't have big hands. I do. It's the wrists. It's all in the wrist. Voice. This deck is, super accurate. Super accurate. And it's a nice complementary deck in a reading. I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. I need to go eat. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this deck, so definitely check it out. All right, so that's that, and then I have one more oracle, and then we're moving on to tarot, and that is the Theta Wave Tarot. Also independently produced. I think the only oracle that I've shown today that's not independently produced is the Halloween Oracle. All the rest are indie decks. I really like the Theta Wave one. It's modern, and it works with quite a few of my modern-ish decks. And I didn't know if I was going to enjoy the holographic fronts, but I do. Reward. With the camera, it makes it a little difficult, but when it's the way I have if I use this deck for readings and I'm recording those readings, for some reason from the angle I do, it doesn't glare like this, like it's glaring right now. But yeah, one thing that kind of bothered me about this deck has nothing to do with the cards or anything like that. Well, it has something to do with the cards. It's the smell. So when it was printed, and this is not the fault of the deck creator. This is the printer printing it fresh straight off the presses, if you will. And what happens is those smells are like gases, and they get locked into the box. And so I've tried airing it out. I've actually aired it out quite a bit. I had lavender I sprinkled some like lavender at the bottom of the box so that it can kind of permeate the cards. I've sat lavender on it, and that seems to take it out. So now it doesn't smell as strong, but I try to keep it out of the box so it can continue to air out. That's my only frustration with the deck. Otherwise, it's such a good deck. It really is. And I have decks like my 8th House Tarot that works really well with this Oracle deck. But it also works well with not any other. I don't plan to bust it out with the Antique Anatomy, for example, because it's almost 2 different styles for me, and I'm very into aesthetics. It's just me. But yes. let's move on to tarot. I am upset. Well, not upset. Not really. But so the Dreams of Gaia Tarot Pocket Edition, I accidentally deleted the unboxing I did for YouTube. I accidentally deleted it. So I'm a little bummed about that. There is an unboxing on my website, but it's, yeah, it just makes me sad. But here it is. I've been adoring this deck so much. I am one of the people who are part of the cult that adores the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Like, it's all worn. It's worn here. But it's not like something I just use for clients or I bust out all the time. It's usually when I'm like, whoa, I just need a big sister reading moment. And this deck does that for me. This is such a good deck to me. It makes me almost a little sad when people are like, they list it or sell it, or they don't get it, or they just don't like learning a new system, because it really is a beautiful deck. But now that I have the pocket edition, I use it so much more. I think there's still room to use my bigger one. But I'll be honest, this is so cool. Blue Angel did a really good job of making a pocket edition for this tarot. And yeah, I love it. I love it so much. It's a hard box. It's matte. See, it's matte. I love the backs. It's the fronts. It's borderless. It's just so good. And it has a little guidebook that only has like the key words and key phrases of each card. But you can then, if you have the full-size edition, you can use the full-size book with your deck if you so choose, or you could just use this. The only kind of drawback that I'm a little disappointed in is I wish that they would have maybe in this same little gold that's around this symbol here, I wish they would have put the keywords there, because the deck is very unique. It draws from some Rider-Waite-Smith inspiration as it does Thoth, but it's its own system. And so it would have been nice to have the keywords at the bottom, but that's okay. After a while, I didn't notice. It was funny. I was like surprised by how many I remembered that. I was like, oh, the Father. It was cool that I was like, oh, I remember this one. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, my stomach is growling. I just kind of want you to get a feel for the gloriousness of it. And I love the size. It just is so handy. And it's for those who have smaller hands, or like me, have a harder time with their wrists. This is really good. It's really good. I mean, really good. I might even be inclined to use this for readings for others now with this deck. So I'm going to keep going for time's sake. This could be forever and a day. I'm going to put that back. Okay, so that's Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And next up, I mentioned it before, the Antique Anatomy Tarot by Claire Goodchild. Yes. And this is produced by Abrams Notary, is the publisher. It's mass produced, but it's, I think, a smaller publisher. Gorgeous box. But this was, this had the tarot community up in arms. I'll be perfectly honest. A lot of people were not happy with the cardstock. Here's the gorgeous guidebook. Look at the inside. But a lot of people were not happy with the cards. I would agree that it would have been nice to just, because it does feel quite flimsy, the cards. But honestly, I've been using this deck quite frequently this past month, even for client readings. And I used it quite a bit, and it hasn't taken a beating, really. Like, I think it's one of those, it's not, I actually, whereas people don't really like Lo Scarabeo stock or Llewellyn stock, I love it because I love to riffle shuffle. So, and I find their stock good. I feel kind of similar to this. Like normally you would see a torn up edge if it was really as crappy as people were thinking. I'm telling you, I've used this deck quite a few times. Now, with that being said, do I think it's going to last forever? No. And US Games seems to have it on lock where they create decks where it seems like they could stick around for a while. This one doesn't feel that way. But I can still use it, and I still do use it, and I still enjoy it. It's one of the first pip decks that I really enjoy. I'll be honest, and that's probably because there's still some like images here. It's not totally like cold where you just see coins. You know, here's the High Priestess. And here's the backs. So you would think super thin, right? The thinnest deck. You should see the unboxing because you'll see how thin and small the deck is. But I am not going to lie to you. I like it. I enjoy shuffling with it. I am aware that I probably should be ginger with it, but I haven't been entirely gentle, and it seems to be doing fine. So maybe they know what they're talking about. I don't know. But I know a lot of people were upset about the stock. I can understand. Okay, so next up we have the Bohemian Gothic. I used quite a bit this past month. Not just because it's Halloween time. I use this deck actually. It's another one of those decks that I'm like constantly consulting, but I don't want to bore you with talking about it over and over again. But obviously, since I got the guide, I was definitely called to use it, and it's just, I don't know, I really like it. It's slightly bigger than normal tarot size, but I don't mind. Here are the backs. This is the 3rd edition, and yeah, I actually had an opportunity to buy either the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I have found them on different sites where I could purchase them secondhand, but I ended up going with the 3rd edition new, and I'm glad I did. I ended up preferring the 3rd edition over the other ones, and price also was a big factor, but not really. At that point, I was willing to pay more money, but I ended up preferring the 3rd edition when it was all said and done. Just love the colors. Just such a great deck. I'm not going to keep going on and on because of time's sake, and I've talked about this deck quite a bit on my channel, and I have an unboxing, so check those out if you want to know more about that deck. All right, and let's see. Oh, I have two more decks. We have the Modern Witches Tarot. I just did an unboxing of this, and it just came. But in the short amount of time that's come, I've used this deck so many times. I mean, you're like, well, how many times can you use all these different decks? At the end of the month, when this deck came, it was due out like November 7th, I think, or something like that. But it got released early, and I've been on it. At first, I was looking at videos, and I had kicked it off of my pre-order list like twice. Because I was like, oh, I don't know. The card stock is way too thick. I'm just not a fan of super thick card stock. But I really like this deck. I really like everything about it, actually. It's now, as opposed to how thin Antique Anatomy, this is how thick this is. There is no riffle shuffling, but I can overhand shuffle just fine. And I have a feeling over time it's going to loosen up and be quite nice. Here's the 6 of Swords. Check out my unboxing. I go into great lengths with it, like talking my head off like I do. Check it out. It's a new unboxing, but I forgot to mention, this is the deck that's going to be for my quarterly giveaway. This is the This is the deck. Super excited. I already have it upstairs locked away for the winner. So stay on the lookout for the giveaway if you are so inclined to enter to win this deck. It's really cool. I just really enjoy it. Okay, so there's that one. And then last, oh, and look at the cute little guidebook. Oh my God. So good. So good, this deck. So good. Here's the backs. Reversible. Glossy, not a fan. Thick cardstock, also not a fan. But easily forgivable. Easily. All right, last, but certainly not least, is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. I've been using this in late summer and fall so far because I think the color palette lends itself to it, and I just love it. I use it in love readings for clients. I use it in readings just for myself because I keep it near my bed. So out of close proximity, that's why I grab it a lot. Here's the backs, reversible. And it's just so good. Let's see. Such a good deck. It's 4 of Swords. Beautiful, fine art right here. It's so amazing. And it's from an artist, Lacey. She's from the Bay Area, where I'm originally from. So I always feel like this call to support Bay Area artists if I can help it. Fortune. The Moon. I won't keep going because of time's sake. Page of Cups. And I want you to see it. Check out the unboxing. I backed this on Kickstarter, and it has just it's a little brown book, but a little white book, you know. But I really enjoy it. And I think you can get this deck now. I think you can purchase it. It's no longer, I think you can just purchase it. But yeah, let's see. Oh, last but not least, before we move on, I want to do a special shout out. I always like to give shout outs to the folks who make our space so awesome. And that would be for those who have joined Facebook, the Facebook Abundant Life Tarot private group. We have some new members. I think next month I'm going to feature some new subscribers. Perhaps maybe we'll do that during the favorites, new YouTube subscribers. But this shout out is for those who have joined the Facebook group. So we have Sarah Louise. Thank you. You joined the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. Thank you so much. We have Deidre. Hi. You joined Facebook group, our Abundant Life Tarot group, which is, closed, but people can just come right in if they want, if they wish to. And she also joined the Abundant Life Tarot Premium membership. Thank you, Deidre. Welcome. Welcome, Sarah Louise. So happy you're here. And also on the Facebook group, we have Mobetta. Thank you. I'm so happy you joined us. And then we have Twisttheleaf on the Abundant Life Tarot Premium membership. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you guys for joining in on the fun that we're having and doing over at Facebook and at my website. And then I think next month we're going to talk about the subscriber folks, because you guys are so awesome. You give me the best comments to think about, and it may take me a little bit to go through them because I read tarot, so that takes up a lot of my time. I've been trying to be a little more timely with my responses, but trust and believe, I read all of your comments. And I do try to, if it's not right away, I do eventually try to respond to all of them, because everything you say is like, oh, I want to continue this conversation. So thank you. Thank you for being so amazing. And yeah, that's it, guys. Yeah, I knew it was going to be another long favorites video like they always are. But that's just me, long-winded. How was your October? What did you do? What was your favorite things? What decks did you use quite a bit? What randomness? Randomness is okay in the context of favorites. What randomness did you have going on that rocked your world? I want to hear from you. All right, guys, so much love, so many blessings. I will see you all in the next video.